What's up, old school homies? Let's talk about making preforms. I do this all the time at the pizza place I work at, and I think it's important if you can see that there's going to be like pizzas coming down the line, but you don't want to stretch them all out because there's disadvantages to that too, just like having a whole bunch of dough covering all the tables. Sometimes it's nice to make a whole bunch of preforms and it doesn't take up a lot of space. And if you make the preforms really nice, then they're really easy to toss. Like a lot of the balancing it out to make it nice is done in the preform stage, if you have time to do it. Otherwise, I just... Okay, so this one's pretty cold. This is the one that we used the other day. And I'll usually push it to the edge so that this pizza place likes a little bit bigger crust. I'll usually flip it around, make sure it's symmetrical on this side too. Now the trick is to take it out of the pan looking round. If you take it out of the pan and it's square, then you have work to do. This one's actually pretty round. And it's pretty much a preform. I could toss it like this. But if you really wanted to make it... This is really cold. If you really want to make it easy on the next guy, who's gonna... I just make a whole bunch of these and then I let other people toss them a lot of the time. And then they feel like they're so good at it. But it's really because I balanced it out. I'm trying to save them time so that they don't waste my time. In the end, it's all about me, isn't it? It sucks. So, the preform is this. It's nice. You just lay up a whole bunch of these and you're good to go. Now let's talk about the first stage of stretching the pizza that I see a lot of people neglect. And this is pulling the crust edge just about like an inch, half an inch at a time. Now I'm going to do it really fast, but dough is like ice cold. And what you do is pop the bubbles with this hand. You don't destroy it, you have a gap here. But I mean, you pop the bubbles. And that way, when it goes in the oven, the bubbles aren't doing some weird ass shit. If you get a big ass bubble and it turns black, people might start hating on that. You know what I mean? Like, it starts getting bubbles that burn, because the bubbles are really what burns. They're really thin pieces of dough. So yeah, that's a preform. If you had that, it would be so balanced that if you wanted to toss this, even though it's like 0 degrees right now, I could probably do it pretty quickly. I hate tossing cold dough. I'm actually on the other end of the spectrum. Everybody looks at my warm dough and they're like, man, you messed it up. And it's like, no. The company told us to keep it warm, and you're not doing it at the right temperature. You need to do what the company tells you to do. I'm not going to toss this dough, but a lot of times I leave the preform about this size too. Look at that giant hole right there. Ugly, right? You could fix it at this stage. This dough's like so old that it's getting big air bubbles in it. You gotta adapt to the way that it is. It's not really rotten, or else you'd see specks of black all over it. But they are turning a little darker brown. So always look at the condition of your dough. This particular batch did not rise whatsoever. I threw a blob out in the yard, it didn't rise. And then I went into work and they were like, yeah, our new recipe didn't rise. So this dough it's not real happy. Still made some good pizzas in my opinion today, but yeah. Making preforms. Make a whole bunch of them when no one's looking and everybody's picking their nose. All of a sudden you'll be the hero.